Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to open my second one of these Hello Kitty Miniverse food mystery capsules. Now, as I mentioned, this is the second one, so if you have missed the first video from last week, feel free to check that one out. And in this one, I'm not actually going to go through building the little scene inside the sphere, since I already showed that last week. But we're going to actually have a look at which project I get. And we're going to make and hopefully spice up that project a little bit. Also, this packaging really gave me some trouble. It was so tightly packed that first of all the sphere didn't want to open, and second of all the shrink wrapper just didn't want to pull open at all. But yeah, the first thing I see is this adorable placemat. The one we got last week had a strawberry, this one had apples, so that's really cute. I wonder if apples are gonna be the theme for this one. I wonder if they just randomly put that in, or if that's actually the theme just for this one. And if they repeat the packaging, or if each and every one has their exclusive one for that. I guess the placemats usually kind of fit the set. But yeah, it looks like we got a pie server with Hello Kitty and an apple on it, so I guess we actually get the apple pies. Which was actually one of the kits that I was really looking forward to. And like last time, I'm going to keep this tissue because it's adorable and I can package gifts for my friends and that. And yes, we have these adorable pie crust that, again, absolutely didn't want to open. So yeah, I guess this one as topic is just package fighting back. I struggled so much pulling this open, which is good though, it means that you don't lose it inside the sphere or something. But yeah, definitely a struggle to open. And it looks like we got two of the same pie bases and in two different tops. One with this lattice, and then the other one with the vent holes being in the shape of Hello Kitty's face with the little whiskers. It's very, very adorable, although I think in real life, especially if you don't make apple pie, but some kind of berry pie or something, I think it could look quite haunting if the juices come out of those vent holes. But for the sake of this craft, it's absolutely adorable. And then we also get these cute little bow ties. Or I guess bows, not bow ties. So these have shading. I wonder where they go. I guess they may be decoration for the pie or something, because they have this kind of similar brown shading. But I guess we're gonna see later in the instructions. And we also get a resin in this one. And I guess this is gonna be to help us have the apple filling be juicy. So I guess this will probably be a darker, orangey, caramel-esque kind of tone in probably citron or something. Kind of, apple, I guess compote or something. But yeah, the design is really adorable. Again, I love that they add all these cute little details on the bottles and stuff. It's super, super cute. It seems like the baggies, for the most part, are very similar in design, which is no surprise because they have to manufacture them. And this one, once again, has all the decoration pieces, and they're exactly the same as last time. So again, I'm not going to build that, but one of them is a seat, and you can decorate the sphere to make a little cafe scene, I guess. And yeah, it looks like we got some apple slices and some ramekins. Oh my goodness, these are adorable. We got two shades, one in pink and one in red. And these are so cute. They even on the inside have little indents for the face shape. So I guess if you would actually use them in real life, not these ones obviously because they're plastic, but if you had something like this in real life and you would bake a cake or something in them, you would actually get the pattern on the bottom, which is cute. And then these apple slices, These look so cute. I love the design on the packaging. We were just carrying this huge apple. It's so cute. Whoops. The apple slices themselves actually are quite plain, so I'm gonna fix that. I guess they thought that if you cover them in like the resin, it doesn't really matter. But I think it's a bit boring. Usually we get like really fun little colorations. Also, these are rubber, which is always very interesting. But yeah, I guess to be fair, in like most of these you peel the apples and like core them, so I guess there's not much of a variation. But if they're in a pie or something, they do tend to caramelize on brown, so you know, this color may not be fitting. Maybe for raw apples, but definitely not for baked. But yeah, let's actually get started with this project. First of all, I split the apple slices in half, because I'm going to make both of the pies parallel, but I wanna arrange the apples differently. I tried varying like different configurations with the slices, and I found you cannot really do something too fancy. So I just went with one where I layered them on sideways, and then with one where I kind of went like bit sideways but also in the middle, like top down, I guess. But I always wanted to make sure that I don't like overfill it so that the lids would sit on there perfectly, because I also don't want to close these. I'm sure you can definitely like cure the resin in there and then glue the lids on, but I want them openable so you can actually see the pattern and like the details that I'm adding. But yeah, this took a little while of like back and forth and arranging them neatly, so I actually didn't use resin, also because it's like opaque layers with the apples on top. I actually, in this case, just used some glue, my favorite trusty Yoo-hoo Alleskleber, or all-purpose glue, which is also resin-based by the way, but it has like a solvent that evaporates, so you don't have any like uncured stuff or anything. And it works really well for these kind of projects, and it dries clear, which is very important, because obviously we don't want any weird discolorations for this. But yeah, the first thing I did before I add anything else is I wanted to shade the pie crust. And I again picked up some reference images, and then I picked up some browns and like some cream tones. And I'm starting to first of all paint this all over. Note that their shading is actually already really nice. But considering that, for example, the bottom would be blind baked in most cases, so it keeps the shape, it would still get maybe a little bit of browning in most cases and stuff, since it's double baked. So I wanted to add that shading and just have it look a little bit more natural. So I started out with a cream tone all over, then I added a little bit more brown towards the middle, and then towards the top where like it's rising more, especially on the lattice work, like the higher points and the middle of the other lid, I'm just dabbing on like a darker brown. And this is like where it's closest to the heating element and where it would darken most, so this makes a lot of sense in my books, and it looks actually really nice and realistic now. And then, as I mentioned, the apples are also gonna change color, so I give them like a little bit more of a darker yellow, I guess caramelized look. Because that's just what happens when you warm, cook or bake apples, they caramelize with the sugars in them. And I think this looks much better and much more appetizing. I also added a tiny bit of like lighter shading in the middle, just for the apple slices that you can see like on the like outside just a little bit more, where you can see the inside like a little bit more, but nothing too fancy, just very simple. And then I had to fix up like the browning a little bit, and after that was dry, I could finally add the resin. The painting process was actually super quick. All I did was I used like a rough brush and stippled most of the things on except for like the paint on the apples, and that wasn't really that fancy either, so it was super simple, super quick, and like very effective, I do have to say. But it's important that you paint before you add the resin, because, you know, if it's under a layer of resin, you can't really paint it anymore. Also, this resin looks so nice. It really looks like darker applesauce. Looks so appetizing. Don't eat resin, obviously. But yeah, that one I'm also going to cure under my UV lamp. And this one actually wasn't too bad. It cured, but like the top surface layer didn't. Like the bottom layers cured, the surface layers didn't really. And I wonder if that just has to do with like the resin settling too much and too quickly or something, where like the components aren't evenly spread out. But it's like, really, like it was completely hardened and fairly quickly on like the bottom layers, just the surface was super tacky and liquid still. But yeah, for the bow tie I actually added the same brown shading and then just a little bit of red mixed in to make it look a little bit more dull and like more, you know, dough-like. Or pastry-like. And then I also stippled on a tiny bit of the like orangey apple color to like murky up the filling just a teeny tiny bit. And I also add a tiny bit of darker brown to like the details we have on the lattice work, because we do have the little nose, eye and whisker details on the side of this one, and I really wanted to have them pop. And then after all that, of course, I can't forget to paint the undersides of the pastry casings. So same thing, just adding like cream tones, and with this one, like also on the inside of the lid, I'm not going to add too much shading at all. This is just to like give it a little bit of color. And it was time to gloss it. Pastry is mostly made with butter or pastry like this, so of course you need to, you know, add like a little bit more sheen. And I add just like some varnish on top in this case. Like just some simple acrylic gloss varnish, just a really thin layer, not to like overdo it. And then on the inside I also stipple that on. By the way, I did wipe off the sticky layer of resin with some alcohol before I painted this, so that I don't contaminate my brushes. And it left it a little bit dull, but the varnish brought things back to gloss. But yeah, with that it's actually finished. So this one was actually so much fun. I really enjoyed this. Obviously the pastry was nicely shaded and all that kind of stuff beforehand. And you know, they actually did a great job with like the molds and the shaping of this. This was really pleasant. My only worry, as always, is the apple slices are opaque. If you put resin underneath, it's never gonna cure. UV resin is never gonna cure because it can never get light underneath that. So the surface layer will cure, the underneath layers will never. So if you actually make these into charms or something and you drill into them or something, you may actually get uncured resin everywhere, and you know, that's not good. Or I had it before where like over time with like cured pieces, they were cured on the outside but not on the inside. Like the outside layer kind of dissolved in a weird way, or like got cracks in a weird way because it was expanding and contracting. And I just had like uncured resin running out of the side of it randomly after like 4 or 5 years. And you know, that's really not good. So my suggestion for this one is glue in the apple slices with some kind of standard glue, like super glue, or you know, any kind of, I guess probably also vinyl glue or something, like PVA glue works well likely too. And then just coat the surface with the resin where it can actually get light and cure. Just to make sure that you have a safe product, because that is sadly one thing that Miniverse doesn't do that well. They have a lot of opaque objects that they add and they use the UV resin as a glue where it never fully can cure. But yeah, overall such a sweet design. I love the attention to details, I love the molding on the pastry. I love the texture it has, I love the details with the bow ties and the Hello Kitty faces. This one really was a pleasure to make and work with. And just the extra little bit of shading and painting that just made it look a tiny bit more realistic in my opinion, you know. That was just my add-on, but it was super simple to add. And like overall, even without that, I think you will get a super fun and nice looking product. And other than the previous one, we actually have a lot more Hello Kitty present in the food item itself. You know, whereas the drink just had the Miniverse M and then just the little bow on the like drinking straw. This one actually has Hello Kitty's face shape, and I'm all for it. Like, this is what I hope when I make kits that are themed we get, like really like using all the imagination to incorporate the theme in things. And this is why I really love this one. And again, as I mentioned last time, this one was one of the ones I really wanted to have. This one, the bento box or the cup noodles, were like some of the ones that I really hoped I would get, and as you guys see, I definitely did. But yeah, really pleasant experience. But once again, except for the resin curing weirdly. Like, I had it before with really cheap resins that I got on Amazon, where like the bottom layer's cured but the top stayed tacky, no matter how long I cured it, and this seems to be the same in a weird way. So I don't know if the UV resin just isn't meant for like thinner layers and coating, or if there's something like wavelength wise, or if like I should have mixed it a bit more before pouring it on. I actually did like use the spoon and like kind of mix it a little bit, but like maybe not enough. But yeah, again, leave a comment down below and tell me if you had that experience. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. And also let me know if you had picked up any of these kits, like of the Hello Kitty series. Which one did you get, and which one did you want to get? Did you maybe get the one that you actually wanted the most, or did you not? For me, since I ordered these online, I couldn't really check any of the sheets. But I know they are out there to like find the kits you want. You can look them up online. There's some amazing people that like collect all the little logo information. But the thing is also, for like European ones, they like to put like the stickers on there, like right where the like information would be. But also, like, again, if you order online, you cannot really choose. But yeah, I'm just happy that I got 2 different kits, because luck can be super bad, and you can definitely get doubles with these quite easily. And yeah, I hope as always that you have a great day. See you next time. Bye bye.